We shuttle to the terminal at Chiang Mai International and board with the engines already running. Waiting outside, the engines are turning before we even sit down, proof that momentum doesn't wait. Gabaga finds the window seat, and he eyes the horizon as we take off, and sleep takes him there first. How does it feel, Gabaga, to almost be landing in Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan, in the snow?
I feel like it seems like the airport is missing.
Feels like the airport's missing?
It seems like it. Oh, so I feel like I'm shaking.
We glide to immigration, and for once we're not separated by passports, mine American and theirs Thai, because in Japan we're all in the same foreigner line. Then Gabaga pays with his saved 1,000 baht, exchanges it for yen, and thanks the cashier in Japanese, arigato gozaimasu, beaming like he has just unlocked a new level. There's a kind of quiet reset that happens when you step into snow. Everything slows down on its own. The airport train brings us into Sapporo, and Gabaga discovers winter with his hands over and over like it's a secret. We skip the easy subway shortcut and walk a few kilometers, choosing the snow outside over enclosure within the train, and just to feel the place. And by the time we reach the hotel, the city feels familiar, and the cold night passes like a calm, clean page.
Okay, so get all the soap, but top all the soap plate.
In the morning, we check the window and see fresh snow still falling. We head straight outside for a snowball fight. You know, there's a kind of special joy that only exists when the weather gives you permission to be a kid again, and we have these snowball fights, we make snow angels, and of course we even build a snowman. Gabaga brought these buttons from home because we didn't know if we could find them or would have them when the time arose. So this is the first real playtime in Sapporo winter. In winter, nothing truly vanishes. It just gets moved, reshaped, and stacked somewhere new. We watch our breath turn visible, and we ride the subway into town. The snow is shoveled aside, but it doesn't leave. It gathers along the road, growing like the city's memory of every storm. A birthday mission in Hokkaido winter. A long walk through snow to a place we bookmarked online. Gabaga eats vegan soft serve for breakfast like it's the most reasonable thing in the world, while we warm up with ramen, deep, savory, unforgettable. Cold outside, hot soup in our hands, and a 6-year-old smiling like the day can't possibly get any better. The cafe we liked was closed on our second visit, and another vegan spot we aimed for was closed too, but the walks were never wasted. We explored neighborhoods. Gabaga spotted a Maserati. He loves car logos and brands, and we found good options in unexpected places, including convenience stores and a cute little shop in town. Sometimes the detours ended up being the highlight. There's something calming about winter darkness. It makes the outside world feel distant. From the aquarium's windows, we could see the city lights and snow, while inside we watched quieter worlds move at their own pace. Eels, starfish, life that doesn't care what time it is, only that it's alive. The sea creatures glide along perfectly unaware of the human effort around them. One thing that made this aquarium different, you could actually see the behind-the-scenes lab side. There were wheels of seaweed at different stages, plus real lab equipment on display. It was a cool reminder that these animals aren't just in tanks. There's a lot of careful precise work happening every day to keep them healthy. As we ventured into this room, an underground, fern-like garden was just glorious, lush, quiet, almost prehistoric. The music was serene, like the place was breathing on its own. I found an angle and stayed there, caught in the spell, and then a passerby sensed the camera's gaze, lifted her phone, and slipped away like a shadow. And in the quiet glow of the tanks, even the smallest creatures feel ancient, like little pieces of wilderness.
Oh, you do it.
What do you think they are?
I don't know.
You call them hairy starfish worms? It's strange how easily the mind believes a story when the environment agrees to it. Orcas swam around us in light, floor to wall, until the room stopped being a room. For a moment, we weren't watching nature, we were inside the idea of it. There's something humbling about jellyfish. Ancient life, moving without hurry. No brain to plan, no heart to race, no lungs to breathe. Just a body that pulses and responds perfectly enough. The lights kept changing through their translucent skin, and they floated past each other like a reminder that softness can still survive. The rooms blend together, and suddenly we're face to face with penguins in that same deep ocean blue glow. Underwater, they're shockingly graceful, more like dolphins than birds, and then they climb up on those ice blocks and shake their feathers like they own the place. Darkness doesn't always mean the day is over. It just changes the atmosphere. The streets are still lively, shops still bright.
Yeah. Real Japanese potato. Wow. Wow. Yum. Take a little bite. Little melon.
A sweet potato baked until its sweetness becomes crystal. No tricks, just time, heat, and winter air that makes every bite feel earned.
It caught here. Whoa.
Here we are. Tippity top. Hey, gabaga. Are we tippity top? I think we are about to. Oh, that one is. Yeah. We're about almost tippity top here. The top of this Ferris wheel. It's pretty high. There's a small kind of comfort in things that just work. Soap appears, water flows, hands dry, no fuss, no mess. Suzuki-no Boulevard, where winter darkness turns into neon daylight. The Nika, king of blenders, watches over the crossing, a warm, whiskey-colored icon in a city of snow. We kept arriving from different angles, train, subway, and footsteps, like every road in Sapporo eventually leads back to this glow. And I was able to use my Japanese, which I hadn't for several decades, for something small, just buying a ticket. And it felt like stepping a little closer to the place we were visiting. And there's something comforting about a loop line. No wrong direction, just motion, connection, and eventually arrival. And we took that tram for our next destination. We transferred and walked the final stretch, crossing an overpass and taking snow-covered stairs slowly, of course, for safety. From there, it was an uphill walk to the base of a large mountain. And in Hokkaido, a quick note, foxes do show up, so watch out for those foxes. And I scanned the powdered snow for the smallest sign of movement, One flicker, one shadow, one set of fresh tracks.
Watch out for the fox. Hey, there he is. I caught one.
A reminder that beauty still runs on engineering.
正面は札幌市の中心部大通りすすきの地区でございます。
Well, what did you think?
ただいま出発いたしました山麓駅方向向かって左側に見えます白い塔は平和の塔でございます。
That thing.
この塔はインドのネール首相より
We see this almost Thai-style jetty and Mount Moiwa's ropeway, first opened back in 1958. It stretches about 1.2 kilometers, and today a cabin can carry around 66 people, even though we only had about 4 or 5. And in about 5 minutes, you glide above winter white Sapporo, far enough to see the city's geometry soften into coastline and sky. And then we transfer to this small Morisu mini cable car for the final climb into the trees, and finally to the peak of this beautiful white forest covered mountain. Snow clings to bare branches, winter's quiet disguise. It looks asleep, almost dead, but you can feel life waiting underneath, pulsing in the dark soil like a promise. And up at the top, Gabaga makes a new friend, a little girl from Chiba, proof that some things bloom even in winter. They're dancing around, laughing, throwing snow at each other like they've been friends forever. For her, it's a quiet trip up north. For us, it's plains, oceans, and a long northbound journey. Different cultures, same snowy joy, speaking the same language of winter.
Oh, that's
Rosie Red.
Oh, rainbow! I'm a rainbow!
On the way down, the front cabin feels like it's floating through pure white, just treetops and mountains. We descend into silence, white on white. The trees are like ink strokes, the world holding its breath. Out of the snow, around White Stupa, that same Buddhist pagoda, like a lantern in the forest. It's called the Sapporo Peace Pagoda, built in 1959 as a prayer for peace. And then gradually, the spell breaks, the grid of Sapporo reappears, rooftops and blocks unfolding beneath us. Coming down, it's pure winter, as if the city has been erased. Then the graveyard emerges at the mountain's foot, quiet and careful, with stone tips and tree trunks slowly revealing themselves through the snow. Hokkai Gobyo has over a century of history, a peaceful place tucked beside the ropeway. Those Olympic rings are not random. Sapporo hosted the 1972 Winter Olympics, and Adori Park still carries that legacy. The rings were installed here in 2022 for the 50th anniversary. The snow softens every edge, but the landmarks stay sharp. That's how we knew we were home, whether it's a pole of old world symbols, the bearded whiskey guardian, and that wheel turning slowly over the city like time you can see.
You may have had a big sweet potato, but you have never had a Hokkaido sweet potato.
This Hokkaido sweet potato is beyond anything I've ever tasted. So soft, so caramelized. It's basically dessert fueled by yaki imo. Happiness, we decided to hop on the Ferris wheel again. Halfway up, we heard sirens and saw red lights, and
We just started hearing sirens and a lot of red lights on every building has red lights, and
The
there
crane
are
even have white light.
And a lot of sirens going off. We are at the very tippity top. If we get an earthquake now, it's going to be scary, folks. But I think we're pretty strong up here.
But we don't have it left.
In the end, it seemed like either no quake at all or just a small everyday tremor. We might have felt a quick shake once indoors. We decided to keep exploring in a new direction. Of course, the Nika sign still found us, as it always did, until we finally took a different route to the station and headed home. The next morning, we set our sights on the Sapporo TV tower, actually just where we met for our tour, our skyline compass at the end of Adori Park. Built in 1957, it's one of the city's classic landmarks.
Get it cool, get it warm, get it right.
And we actually went up twice on this trip. We met up with a group speaking Chinese and English, and we hopped on a bus. Winter turned the world into a museum. Icicles as sculptures, snow as silence. We rode with strangers who feel oddly familiar, sharing two languages in one route. Then the first stop, it was those stone faces and a tunnel and a Buddha hidden inside a hill. Like a reminder that the most powerful things are sometimes the ones you only see gradually. Curving around the base, nothing is revealed quickly here. The hill keeps its secret until you're close enough to slow down. And then his head appears above the curve of stone, calm, unhurried, floating in blue light and winter cloud. Gabaga had already figured out different country, different gesture, bow here, why back in Thailand, and then completely unprompted, he bowed to each Buddha statue that we passed. A small act, but it said everything: curiosity, respect, and a child becoming a little citizen of the world. A row of moai heads. The grounds were full of sculptures, actually. These Japanese warrior-style statues with intense expressions. And even a small reindeer display. With fresh snow everywhere, there was places to play, plenty of room to build a snowman, make snow angels, have a snowball fight, and even slide down this snowy little slope, which, of course, Gabaga did. Great wall backdrop and an imperial chariot display, a nod to the Qin era world of emperors and armies. As we leave, the Buddha's head lingers above the hill, quiet against a blue winter sky. Then we arrive at the Maruyama Park. Pass through the Torii Gate, and it feels like stepping from the ordinary world into a calmer one. The park is full of tall trees and big black crows, bold, unbothered, perfectly at home in the cold. And we'll see if our little 5 yen wish works. And if it does, we know where to go to make another one. After the quiet stone paths of Maruyama Park and the Hokkaido Shrine, we shifted gears completely. Next stop, Shiroi Kobito Park. Bright lights, storybook buildings, and a whole new kind of winter magic. There's a kind of magic that only works when things are smaller. Tiny bridges, tiny houses, warm lights against cold snow. Like the world is telling you it's safe to be playful again. Shiroi Koibito Park isn't just something you look at, it's something you wander through. And watching Gabaga explore it, you realize wonder is a language kids speak fluently. Snow settles on miniature rooftops, while tall European facades rise behind them, glowing like a winter stage set. In the center, the clock tower stands like a lighthouse of light, white spirals circling it as the hourly show begins. And there, perfectly placed in the dream, a sleigh and reindeer waiting as if the night might lift off itself. In theory, we came here for the beauty and calm, but in practice, Gabaga reminded me that the real meaning of winter is surprise.
Oh, that wasn't nice at all. Was that nice or not nice? Nice? Well, I don't think it's very nice.
Panoramic wonder, 360 degrees of winter magic, lights turning the night into a living story. And then we go back to the Sapporo TV tower. It's strange, standing still can look taller, but moving can feel taller. The TV tower's deck sits at around 90 meters up, solid under your feet, and the Ferris wheel is on a rooftop around 78 meters high. And at its peak, it can put you in the same skyline range, except you're floating and turning, so your brain calls it higher. Gabaga dances below the tower like he's trying to thank the whole city at once. And the next morning, we're already on that rapid train back to New Chitose Airport. Waving goodbye on the train, watching the sky slide by, and waving goodbye from the plane. One non-stop flight back to Bangkok, and then a quick transfer to Chiang Mai, some naps on the plane, and just like that, our winter wonderland comes to a close.